So I was thinking this morning, have I ever really seen a bad home invasion movie? Now I have. Intruder stars Louise Linton, John Robinson, and is directed by Travis Z. So I'm scrolling through Netflix looking for some good horror movies to watch, and this movie Intruder pops up. And the poster, as always, looks interesting, and it's a home invasion movie. And I love home invasion movies. So I thought, hey, why not give this one a shot? And this one actually covers more than most obsession and what happens when you have a stalker. This is really stalking in its purest sense. So that had me interested. And the two words that really sum this movie up are missed opportunity. So let's get into the review. So Intruder is about this professional musician, Elizabeth. She's a cellist. And really there's not much to tell. She has a stalker. This is what the whole movie is about. We see her in her apartment throughout most of the movie. And we see her stalker in her apartment throughout most of the movie. That's it. That's about it. I wish I could give you more of a plot synopsis, but I can't. That's all I got. But let's get into the pros and cons. Now, as far as pros, like I was talking about with stalkers, this is a real epidemic. Back in the 80s, there was this actress named Rebecca Schaefer, and she was on this show called My Sister Sam, and she had a stalker. And he literally showed up at her door, drove, probably hundreds, thousands even miles, showed up right at her door, pulled a gun out, and killed her. And also Danielle Harris, you might remember from Halloween 4 and 5, and also Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. She had a stalker for quite a while, actually. And there are countless actresses out there and, pretty girls that have stalkers. And really, this movie shines a light on that. And that is one thing I kind of dug about it. But in the end, I was really disappointed because this was a huge missed opportunity. This is one subject that I don't see covered that often. And it could make for a great horror movie. But this is a really pretty looking movie. It looks very professional. Love the camera work. And I have to give them credit, they only spent $1 million on this movie. All the money looks like it went into the camera work. But my biggest problem with this movie is the killer is in like 90% of the movie and there is zero suspense. And you can tell that the intent was suspense, but it just fails miserably. And I think probably because they showed the killer way too much. And there's a lot of scenes where, the killer's just randomly walking around the apartment. He pisses in the sink. He's being really gross. He's sticking his fingers in her food. Really a lot of unnecessary stuff. You didn't see Michael Myers doing that in the original Halloween. They really didn't show him that much until the end of the movie. And when they did show him, he was creepy as hell. This one, the killer is not creepy. And also, another big con of this movie is that it is so predictable. You're gonna probably spot the killer a mile away. And I don't know if that's intended or not. And to be honest, that didn't really bother me. I don't mind when the killer is shown early in the movie. It's been done before, actually, and I will talk briefly about that after the rating because I don't want to spoil anything. And there is a moment in this movie between the victim and a character where they have a discussion, and that was probably the only interesting moment in the movie. Now, whether this character is the killer or not, I'm not going to tell you yet. Also, John Robinson, he plays John, and you might remember him from the first Transformers. He was also in Lords of Dogtown, and he was one of those that I immediately recognized, but I couldn't put my finger on it, and then I looked him up on IMDb, and I was like, oh, okay, that's him. But he is one character that is really infatuated with the victim and girls in general. They established that, but it's never established until the end if he is the killer or not. Also, my biggest con for this movie is probably the ending because it really just goes out with a whimper. I was waiting for something really big to happen between the killer and the victim, and the movie just ends. That's it, just nothing special whatsoever. In the end, guys, I gotta give this movie a 2 hours lost. It had some nice production value there, some interesting themes, but the execution just miserable. Now, I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't seen this movie, don't waste your time. If you wanna stay and listen to my little quick spoiler thing here, go ahead. You're not really missing anything. But yeah, the killer is that guy that's infatuated with women, John Robinson. Really, I don't have a problem with that. And the movie Terror Train did this same thing. And it's the only movie that did that. And it's almost refreshing at this point because they always point the finger at one guy and it's not that guy, it's somebody else. But this is one of those few movies where they point the finger at that guy and it's that guy. And that scene near the end of the movie where he's just having this discussion with Elizabeth and he's kind of invading her personal space and she starts realizing that this is kind of awkward. That was the only scene in the movie that had tension. And the scenes that were supposed to be really tension-filled were not at all. But if you want to watch Intruder, if you like home invasion movies, it's not that good, but if you're just bored and you want to watch it, it's on Netflix, so you can watch it right now. Also, coming up at Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day, every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Look down below, you can see all my social media links. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. I wish my dog would quit scratching the freaking floor over there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and God damn it, Levi. Drumdum out.